Hi, this is Kirby Summers, and I welcome you to my true crime podcast. This is a preview of a very special, I'm going to call it podcast on who murdered Jeffrey Epstein and how. Clearly, this is not the platform I wish it were that I can share this information. However, I have uploaded the podcast to my Patreon. If you are following my Patreon, it drops very soon. I received this information. Well, I'm going to start by letting you know that when I began on this journey in July of 2019 to bring together the pieces that I had and that I had been collecting and piecing together, I started to be contacted by many former three-letter operatives, some of whom I remained in touch with, some of whom, also introduced me to other people. And among these many people, at some point, we were talking for a very long time about a lot of covert activities and unsolved murders, and the Jeffrey Epstein murder. I'm going to tell you here, according to him, it was a murder. I am aware that there is still a divide. In my opinion, that's just to make some noise, so you don't really focus on the broader picture, because dead or alive at this point, in my opinion, it doesn't change the information that we're looking for that we are not getting from mainstream. However, on that day, he went into it and he told me how he got into it, who reached out to him, what he saw. There actually is a tape. And in the podcast that I uploaded on my Patreon, which is a very exclusive, I don't believe anyone has ever done a podcast anywhere on who killed Jeffrey Epstein, but I did. So I shared the information that he shared with me. And at the end of the podcast, I name who it is and I share how I came to know him. All right. So I'm going to leave a link to my Patreon in the event you want to take a listen. It'll be there. Again, it's the only place where I can upload something that I really can't share with you here as much as I would like to. Okay. So I hope you guys are well. I know that many of you have been coming over to my Substack, and I really appreciate that. The information that I share on my platform on Substack and my platform on Patreon, because some of you are not sure about what I do on either one, it's not the same. So for example, for the last couple of days, I started a new series on Rudy Giuliani, how he's connected to Jeffrey Epstein and Leslie Wexner, and I start showing and naming names that have had yet to be identified as being part of the Epstein-Wexner nexus. And that's not shared. I have not shared that on Patreon, nor will I, because I keep the information I share on one platform different than I do on another. This makes it, a lot of people are members of both, so this keeps it interesting for the people that are following me on the different platforms to look at the different things that I'm studying, because usually as I'm looking for one thing, I will stumble into something else, or as in this case, I will have a conversation with somebody I respect. Before I received the call from this operative, I knew who he was. So I think that when you take a listen to the podcast, Who Killed Jeffrey Epstein and How, you will also understand the severity of the information I received. I also include other information that is not available anywhere else, which, made it quite made everything he said like to be spot on for me. All right, guys, please give this a like. It helps the algorithm, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.